Good morning. Let's get in here. So I am actually in a little bit early today. I woke up early this morning. And I was going to do my chart review from yesterday. I was like super tired from this weekend, barely got like any sleep. So I was going to do my chart review from yesterday because I didn't do it last night. Just didn't really have the energy to do it and didn't want to like half-ass it. So I was going to do that this morning, but didn't really have enough time this morning either. So I'll have to do 2 of them today. That's okay. I've got some time this afternoon, so I'll do the review from yesterday and the review from today as well. There's a couple things that I really do need to review from yesterday. But anyway, let's get into today. Clearly it looks like an uptrend on the ES gets broken with a new high, so there's the potential that I might be looking for some shorts soon, but not quite yet. Same with the NQ, uptrend break, almost a move to a new high. Looks like you have a short-term uptrend with a break and new high, creating a double top as of right now. So again, you might be looking for some shorts soon. CL, uptrend has a break and new high, and then you kind of have the spike and channel down as a break and new low. And then just in case that wasn't convincing enough, you then have a follow-up close outside and attempt at a new low, creating a double bottom. Now we're moving up, so I might be looking for some longs. And let's check out the RTY. Looks really range-like. I was gonna say it might not be moving, but it is. Okay, it looks really range-like. You clearly have some resistance up at these highs, the overnight highs, and you might get some support down at these overnight lows. There's clearly some prior support right here, which could end up being some sort of midline later on. Looks like there's a short-term downtrend with a break and new low. Now you get a spike up. So I might be looking for some longs on the RTY. Going to mark everything up on my second monitor, so that way I can see them all at once. And let's see. So my phone was just ringing there, and hope it's not important because I won't see it for another 3 hours. All right, so I got everything marked up on my second monitor. Do you want to mark these overnight highs on here? Let's mark the lows as well, just in case those come into play. On the CL, there's the potential for some sort of larger uptrend to form here. Of course, it's pretty uncertain as of right now, but could be valid later. I wonder why there's always so much movement in the overnight for CL. I mean, there's always a lot of bars in the overnight compared to the other charts. It's kind of weird. There's a potential for a second entry long on CL, but it looks really congestive, and we've already made 2 legs up. I'm uncertain about this uptrend, so I definitely can't take that. On the ES and the NQ, we're moving up through what I thought could end up being some resistance up there. So we must not be done to the upside yet. Also, I want to note this is just 1 leg down. So there's the potential that this ends up being a larger uptrend as well. So that is a possibility to keep in mind for later. And on the CL, you did get that bullish bar, but look at how it instantly would have trapped you right there. So that's why I'm not looking to take that trade. RTY is moving up. Looks like it's making a second leg up. Feeling pretty good this morning. Definitely got plenty of sleep last night. Probably slept for like 9 hours or something, but it's much needed sleep, that's for sure. On CL, this uptrend might be holding. I kind of didn't expect it to. I thought it might, but wasn't entirely sure. But still, yeah, you definitely couldn't take this long. So this uptrend on the ES and the NQ is actually looking pretty good. So I'm going to draw that there just in case it ends up coming into play. For one, this downtrend doesn't play out, which is a good sign for a trend for me. It actually fits even better on the NQ. As you can see, it has these touches on the opposite side, the channel line up here. They're like basically perfect. 1, 2, 3 touches there. So this could definitely be valid. Possibly overshooting on CL. Keep having a sniffle here. I don't know why every morning my sinuses are always so clogged up. Not necessarily clogged up, but like I'm just sniffly. Gotta sneeze a bunch too. So definitely a possible overshoot on this CL here. Have to see how prices react, but potential longs as well, depending on how prices react here. Looks like the uptrend is continuing to hold on CL. So there's the potential for a long here, though with that, it could still be an overshoot. Definitely have to be hesitant here. So I'm going to prepare for a possible trade on CL. Do want to note that it is congestive here. I'd like to see it pull down a little bit further before turning bullish. If it is going to turn bullish, still could be an overshoot, but it could just look like this here for the uptrend. So just kind of waiting and seeing what this might look like. So it did kind of pull down there. If we turn up strongly, I think that I would be probably willing to take a second entry here.
Order submitted.
Just want to remember that this does look pretty congestive. It's a good signal bar, but I don't really want to take it right into those congestive highs. I was hoping it was going to push out of them and close outside, but with how this ends,
Order
just not
canceled.
interested. I might be looking for maybe some sort of higher low though. We are just a couple minutes from the open. The ES is just like drilling upwards. It looks like spike and channel. Lots of yawning today, but I'm not particularly tired, really. Less than 1 minute from the open. My coffee smells kind of burnt this morning. I don't know why. Tastes a little burnt too. And no good signal bar on that CL, high or low right there. So I was thinking maybe a first entry, second entry, high or low with that kind of like breakout pullback of the congestive area. But no good signal bar there, and I'm not entirely sure if I would have wanted that anyway. Looking at the ES, I do think that you could draw that spike and channel there, and it's fine. If this major, like the larger uptrend, hold on. If this larger uptrend is right, then it's kind of weird how prices didn't touch off the channel line. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. So far, got that one leg down to the old trend line. Prices are finding some support there. Continuing to move up on NQ pretty strongly. So uptrend break, definitely a new high by now. Looks like we might be headed to that channel line up here. Nothing that I'm really interested in taking on any of the charts, really. don't know if this uptrend on RTY is correct, but I'm thinking that it could be, technically. Doesn't really look that right, though. On the ES, finding some resistance up at that level could end up being like a full range right there. Could be. I'll go ahead and draw that for now. Looks like on the ES we're making 2 legs down. Basically this is like a 1, 2 legs. It's clearly not a range area. But you can see this 2 legs. So clearly there's an up bias here, but I'm not exactly sure of this larger trend. It's possible this trend already just has a close outside a new high, but with the way prices were kind of playing there, it seems to me there's something larger in play. Not really interested in this second entry long. Doesn't really look like something I want. I can see a possible failure on the ES because it does look like 2 legs down, and then you have a 1. You could get a failed second entry here that I might be willing to take, even though the structure is a little bit uncertain. Clearly you're in an up bias right now. On CL, kind of looks like you're building out a slightly larger range. Maybe. Clearly on the RTY, you're bumping up against these overnight highs, which I think you can move up there, in which case this really does look like a midline. So ES looks like 1-2 legs back, kind of like a higher low. Super congestive under the EMA though, so not really anything I'm interested in. Kind of turn it up in an odd place on the ES, NQ as well. It's kind of weird. RTY is really moving up. Short-term uptrend. The CL. Looks like the range could have expanded here, although it could just be incorrect overall. But clearly this uptrend as it closed outside and it's getting a new high, or is most likely going to get a new high. So not really much to do there. In the ES, that same resistance is coming into play here. So you have the double top, now it's coming into play for a triple test. Find it hard to keep my eyes open. I didn't think I was that tired, but maybe I am. Continuing to move up on ES and NQ. I still feel good about this larger uptrend. I mean, it still looks pretty good, but it's just kind of odd that prices aren't touching either side right now. They're just continuing to move higher. Just not really anything to do. So lots of movement and nothing to do overall on really any of the charts. The CL continuing to chop around in what could be a range. RTY has made its close outside a new high. You might just have 2 legs up, or be looking for 2 legs up there. Wow. Okay, that was a really big move up in RTY. Just exploded past that measured move there. On the NQ, kind of looks like there might be some sort of spike in channel working up. Well, we're just blasting past that right now, so maybe not. Let's see if this major uptrend holds at all. Same with the ES. Really moving up strongly on both of these. Odd trends going on right now. So far, it's supporting the major trend. We're finding resistance on it, rather. On RTY, you could draw some sort of trend like this, where the midline kind of fits right in there. Could say maybe a trend like that could be right. Obviously ditch that measured move there. So this uptrend is actually looking pretty good on the NQ and the ES. If you just drag this one up just a tad. Guess it's more than just a tad, but I like how that midline fits. It's kind of touching off that opposite side. So definitely could be right. Could be kind of two legs back right here. Same with the ES. One could be two legs back. I think I'm basically just going to wait until prices touch off the trend line though. RTY continuing to play up that opposite side there. Might even be getting a secondary spike in channel. NQ really pulling on down here. I'm going to draw the larger correction trend just in case. Yes, even looks like it could be in some sort of range. Well, we're breaking on lower there, so probably not. But clearly there's a correction trend working down. So I won't really want to fight that one, but there could be something there. I'm going to change the NQ as well to just be something like this. We are touching off that possible trend line, so let's see what's going to happen here. With this downtrend kind of still in play, I'd really like to see a failure over a just a second entry there. I mean, truly the second entry would be first entry. That would be the second entry right there. Obviously wasn't going to take that one. Maybe a higher low, but I don't know. We are moving up pretty strongly off that level, so if we do get some sort of higher low, there's a chance I'd be interested. Looks like my spike in channel on the RTY did not end up being very useful at all. Okay, so we're moving up strongly on the ES and the NQ. Definitely the possibility for a higher low on either one of these. I'm going to zoom on in here and see what this looks like. So truly this would be the first entry, second entry there. Prices are moving up pretty strongly, so might not get the entry I was looking for. Probably won't. We're moving up on the CL too, so it kind of looks like we get that break a new high there. And draw this retest trend. See what that ends up doing. So I could look for another second entry. So if prices, pull back for another second entry there, that could be a good one. But they've kind of moved too far for any kind of higher low or failure. Same with the NQ. quite the uptrend going on. I wonder if we've surpassed the measured move. I think we have. Yeah, we definitely have. The RTY is just pushing on up through the channel line I thought was there. I mean, it just could be an overshoot. I don't know, this could be incorrect. Like in some, I mean, this really does look like a really strong spike here, so could also be a spike in channel. Having trouble finding that. Maybe it's that. I don't know. I'm having some troubles finding that one on the RTY. Clearly we're moving up though, so that's what matters more than anything. On the ES and the NQ, we are getting another pullback here. Noticing that prices are failing to reach the channel line repeatedly. Well, they reached it here, failed to reach it there. There's the possibility for a long still. Even the CL is moving up real strong. It's possible that it's just a wider trend here. In fact, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. That looks really good. Fits really well. Second entry setting up on the ES and the NQ. You could say that's blocked, or you could say the downtrend is kind of like this. I don't know. Gonna have to play this one kind of by ear. I'm not sure if the short-term trend is still in play or not.
Order
We seem to be ready
submitted.
for this. Second entry long. Is a little bit congestive. Looks like a pretty clear two legs though. There's a lot of upward momentum. The short-term uptrend needs to break a new high. The signal bar doesn't have a ton of momentum though. Something just doesn't feel quite right about this one to me. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't feel quite right. I'm tempted to say that I would take it anyway, but I don't know. It just feels weird.
Order
I'm gonna
canceled.
skip it, even if it does break higher. I might be wrong, but it just doesn't feel right. And if it does end up working out and it does end up being a good trade, then I'm going to be really confused on how to tell my, I don't know, how to review it and see whether I should have or shouldn't have taken it. But right now it's sort of chopping sideways, so it doesn't look particularly great. Need to be careful not to zone too much into one chart. And we did, break lower there. So looks like my intuition was correct this time. There's a possible overshoot on CL. If this uptrend is correct, this could be an overshoot here. Even if the uptrend isn't correct, then what you're looking at is a break of that prior one and a move to a new high. So I'm not really looking for longs right now on the CL. On the RTY, I'm getting some congestion, some congestive action. There's a possibility for a long setting up there. ES is also getting that congestive action, so nothing to really do there. Kind of looks like 2 legs back on NQ. 2 legs back to the trend line.
Order submitted.
Not a ton of momentum in that signal bar. I was thinking if that signal bar sort of took off, then I might be willing to do that one.
Order canceled.
It could be okay though. Looks like we're breaking the uptrend on ES. I think it's right. I think that uptrend's right. I think it's just broken now. So maybe it's just a correction trend like this. It has a close outside a new low. So now let's look for a higher low. I want to be ready for the possibility of a higher low. was thinking there could be a possible higher low coming off this trend line. It's clearly a strong trend with all these little dojis working higher, lots of wick. On the NQ, it doesn't look like the trend is broken. It looks like this is still within the uptrend, but on the ES, it clearly looks like the trend has broken. Could look for some sort of failed second entry on the ES. Wouldn't want any kind of higher low right now. Price has moved a little too far. But I would also be open to taking a second entry long on either the ES or the NQ. The CL is sort of chopping around. It could be a little higher like this, actually, when I look at it. If you pull this in kind of real tight and put that up at the top, it might not be an overshoot, but if you put it down here, midline fits pretty well. It could be an overshoot, so let's see. And the RTY did get a higher low right there, but prices ticked above and immediately turned around and would have stopped you out. So got to wait for some sort of pullback there. Second entry long on the ES, but I don't want that one. To me, it looks like the uptrend is already broken and attempted a new high. Created this double top up there. Congestive second entry right into the highs. I don't think that's what I want. There's just better entries out there. The RTY trend is looking pretty good. I mean, how it's holding so far seems to be pretty good. Although it might be breaking now. Looks like on the ES you made a high by one tick, new high. So that's played out. There's also the possibility of a spike in channel working up. But as of right now, this one looks pretty good. Same with the NQ possibility. This trend is looking good as is right now. Even uptrend with the close outside, new high for there. Not really anything I'm interested in taking. Maybe a long on the RTY or a long on CL. On CL, I'm thinking this is actually wider because it's not really acting. It's not really acting like an overshoot. So maybe that. Yeah, maybe a long there. Kind of looks like two legs back. So let's see what we can get, if anything. For some reason today, more than days past, I kind of feel the urge to take a trade, so I just need to watch that and make sure I'm not taking any dumb ones. I don't know what it is, like, just kind of feels like I want to do something. On the ES, it looks like we're building out some sort of little range. NQ possibly as well, but it's clearly just some resistance. CL is running into that same kind of resistance. The RTY, on the other hand, is just trending on up. Just can't stop this RTY. And of course, as I drew that range, it just ends up being like entirely incorrect. We are continuing to move up though. Makes me want to look at that, but it doesn't really look right. This is still just looking for longs on all the charts. Nothing much there at the moment. Definitely the potential for a long on RTY. This is a pretty strong leg back though, so I need to let that down momentum sort of dissipate. But again, this was a very strong move up, so it might overrule that short-term downtrend. Just have to see what happens. CL could get some sort of long as well. We're really looking congestive though, than anything. And unfortunately not really getting a chance to enter on the RTY. It's hoping for a second entry long, but it's not really looking like that's going to happen. The NQ looking really good as far as this uptrend goes, but the ES not looking so great as far as that uptrend goes. So, it could be a little bit wider to kind of match. Let's play around with this a little bit. Could be something like that. Kind of matches the NQ trend. It doesn't really seem like the uptrend is broken yet, so I'm going to stick with that for now. Man, really moving up strong. Look at that. It's on both the ES, the NQ, kind of the RTY as well. Crazy. Yeah, moving up on all these ones. Unfortunately, there just haven't been really any good entries. I don't see anything that I would have wanted to take. Nothing. I mean, it's kind of wild to have nothing that I'm interested in on either one of those with so much movement. Nothing. Yeah. Like even in hindsight, I don't see anything I'd be interested in. Looks like we're taking back a lot of what we sold off these past few days. Where were we up here? 52.13. Where are we now? Not quite up there yet, but we are taking back a lot of this. It's quite a big move. 66-point move so far. So with this short-term uptrend playing out right here to the upside, I'm going to need a full correction back on the ES and the NQ. You have the same thing on the NQ here. Going to need like a full correction back with a full completed 2 legs back before I look to take a long. But the CL actually looks pretty interesting. You can see there's a gap right there, which usually confirms the trend line. So I'm going to just kind of pull that up there. And overall, that fits pretty well. I like that. So there could be a long entry setting up here. Maybe a second entry long off of this support level or something like that. Could be good. CL, possibility for a second entry long. It's not really setting up how I'd like it though. Kind of congestive, and I lose these trades a lot where it's like kind of a weak bar off of some support or resistance. Flipping back to the CL real quick. Obviously, I wasn't going to be able to take this now. It's right into that resistance. The bar is way too big. Looks like a range. Yeah, nothing there. But if this correction plays out, and then there's a good long entry, then I might be willing to take something on the ES. Similar things going on the incur here. The CL is moving higher though. So we've hit that close outside a new high for the uptrend. Same with the RTY, we've hit the close outside a new high where everything's played out to the upside. So not really much to do there. I'd say the one that I'm most interested in right now is the ES. Looking for this break a new low, this downtrend, and possibly a long entry. I don't think I would really trust this trend line enough. So like, let's say this downtrend gets a close outside and a new low and a bullish bar right off this trend line. I don't think I trust it enough because I did have to like drag it out in kind of a weird way. Plus prices are failing to reach the channel line here. So if we do get a close outside and a new low for this downtrend, then I'll probably want a higher low or a failed second entry before I go long. That's what I think. So far, no good on this one. Nothing I really want until this correction plays out. Or at least has a convincing attempt at doing it, which is kind of what's happening now. Same with the NQ here. Downtrend is a break. Looking for prices to attempt that new low. Looks like they're going to reach it. But I wouldn't want to just take this as two legs down. So it would be technically a first entry, second entry. But I really want to see some sort of higher low or something, because again, we were failing to reach this channel line. Yeah. So here we go on the ES, creating a slightly higher low here. But I don't want to take a bullish bar here because again, this trend line I'm a little bit uncertain about. I had to sort of drag it out from where I initially had it. And prices again are failing to reach this channel line. So gonna wait for maybe a higher low or something if this does hold, and if not, then I'll be looking for a break and new high of the major uptrend here. So it looks like it is gonna break. Hasn't broken on the NQ though, not yet at least. Looks like this to me, downtrend break, new low. Again, I would look for some sort of higher low or failed second entry. On RTY, you do have 2 legs back, but it looks like the spiking channel has a close outside and a new high, or even the short-term uptrend has a close outside and new high, so I'm not looking for anything there. Not really seeing any strength on the ES or the NQ. Does look like 2 legs down on both of these, as I mentioned. On the CL, it looks like it has a close outside and new high, so I'm not really looking for anything. On the RTY, again, this uptrend has its close outside and new high, but it looks like now we've made 2 completed legs down. So these could be 2 legs down before we have the next sort of push higher. So if we do get maybe some sort of failed second entry or something here, I might still be willing to take it even though this uptrend has played out. Just been such a strong up move today. Bringing back this trend, see how that might look. So maybe there's something there with that. On the NQ, it looks like this might be a larger trend coming down. Something like that. So we might have to wait until that plays out. We are finding some upward movement on the ES, so it might be time to start looking for the close outside a new high. I might be looking for a failed second entry here. By the close outside new high, I mean of this major uptrend, which I think just has its first close outside right here. So let's see. I don't think I'd want to take this higher low. I would have preferred like a super strong push above the EMA. Before that, it's not really exactly what I would have wanted, especially not with that little congestive bit there. So I'm looking at the RTY right now to see if we can get a nice higher low. Kind of looks like these two legs back to a possible trend line. We might get a nice higher low there. It'd have to be pretty strong for me to want that, like not just like some little signal bar.
Order submitted.
I just saw some strength in the NQ and the ES, so it makes me think that the RTY might follow with that little jump up that happened there. It's not looking like it. Definitely not seeing that, like a lot. I wanted to see a lot of strength in this signal bar and not seeing that right now. But still want to be ready just in case. I think that's enough strength. Two legs back. higher low. Yeah, I think if that breaks higher, I think I'm going to take that. See
Order
if it'll get me
filled.
in. Oh wow, I put those in the perfect place without even really meaning to. All right, so we'll see. I'm seeing a lot of strength in the ES and the NQ. And I think this is a possible trend line on the RTY. I like how these two legs back look. It's overall pretty strong uptrend so far, or like it's pretty strong up bias at least. So it's a little bit of a sketchier setup with just this higher low in a little bit of a weird place for a higher low. But like I said, there's quite a few things going for it, so I think it's probably worth the risk there. ES is moving up. Looks like the RTY is as well. I'm guessing we'll end up getting out of that. It's pretty close. That was a super strong move up on the ES. It might have been exhaustive. So it might have been an exhaustive move marking the end of the uptrend. I saw it in that last bar. It just really shot up there. In the NQ, I thought it could be a larger sort of correction trend there, but really I think it's just these two legs down. And I'm still not sure if this is a break of this uptrend on the NQ, because you could easily drag it out a little bit and say that it's not. The RTY is trading back a bit, so not just shooting up there like I was hoping it would. As we got close to my target, I was hoping it was just gonna shoot on up there. But still possible, so we'll see. I did notice, like, pretty much right whenever I took the trade, my heart rate did increase a little bit, but right now I'm pretty relaxed in this trade. I still feel pretty good about it. We keep getting these little spurts up in the ES and the NQ. So you're getting these little spurts up here. They're not really following through on the RTY, unfortunately. So the NQ is getting those as well. But the RTY is just continuing to sort of trade down here. So I might not get out of this one. Have to see. Getting some strong down momentum there. And noticing that I'm tensing up a little bit as I'm getting closer to getting stopped out here.
Filled.
So yep, did get stopped out on that one, but that's all right. So to me on the ES, it looks like the uptrend has played out. I think that it's pretty clear it's played out to the upside. So I'm thinking everything's played out there. The NQ, I'm a little bit less certain whether it's played out or not. I'm just going to redraw it here. Let's see. If we keep it nice and tight there, I think I don't really think it has played out, so there might still be a long to take on the NQ. Getting a super strong down move on the ES. So might actually be interested in some shorts now that the uptrend has played out there. The NQ, it's possible that you could maybe draw it off of this swing here and say that there is a break. That also looks pretty good. So that could be the case. That is getting a super strong down move there as well. thinking we'll probably get another leg down, but I wouldn't want to take this second entry because it's just kind of congestive. So it's the possibility to take some sort of short on both the ES and the NQ, in my opinion. This is just kind of one leg up on the RTY, but you do have the similar one leg down here. I'm unsure about this uptrend that I was playing. It could be correct, it could not be. So we might see some further up action, or we might not on the RTY. There's a pretty big gap here with the way the prices moved here. They didn't ever retrace that. So there's a good chance the prices do come back and retrace that area there. Just for whenever I study this later on the RTY, I think my error in thinking was that I was thinking this was 2 legs back before the next push phase was going to happen. And then it was supported by this possible trend line. So with those 2 things, I was thinking that it would probably be good to take this higher low. But I was wrong, because obviously the push phase did not begin there and this trend line did not hold. So I was wrong about both of those assumptions. Looks like on the ES, this short-term downtrend is played out and prices are starting to push up again. Same with the NQ here, which again makes me think, okay, maybe this uptrend has not played out yet. Maybe it is just wider. So maybe it's how I had it originally. It's possible. The ES, I feel a little bit more confident about this being a break on the ES, but it's still possible that it's not. Just gotta keep an eye on this and see. Even the CL is continuing to move up after the close outside a new high, which is a little odd. Feels like I just keep expanding these trends. I don't think that that one really needs to be expanded though. On the NQ, it's definitely possible that you have something like this that I was kind of looking at before, then gets a break, a new low, and now we might be moving up higher. Could be wrong about that read though. I'm feeling pretty sure that this is a close outside here, but maybe it's just not a convincing enough break a new high, so prices are wanting to attempt that again. Might be the case. Quite a few bars here today. It's 141 on NQ. $179 on the ES, so a lot there. It's a lot less on CL. Only 82. So I might need to lower the tick value on CL quite a bit here. In fact, I'll go ahead and do that. So got 81, we need to double it, so just drop this down to 250. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Let's see what that does. Loads of bars, loads of them. That kind of puts it more like that there. Makes me feel like this trend could still be in play. Should make sense. And there might have been some entries up through here, but it doesn't matter because that's not the chart that I was looking at the time. Let's see how many bars we got now. About 164, so that's closer to the ES. I just want it to be, pretty similar to the ES there. So I'll go ahead and change that on my second monitor as well. Let's check out the RTY as well. I have a feeling this one's going to be pretty close. 140, so that's similar to the incur. I'll leave that one. I'm okay with that. Looks like we're headed to the break a new high. So my uptrend might have been correct. It just didn't hold there. The ES and the NQ just kind of working up higher here. NQ getting close to this resistance and the break a new high for the uptrend. The ES, I really do think this is already closed outside a new high on the ES. Just almost checked my account balance there, and it doesn't matter. I'm here to learn no matter what, so it just doesn't really matter at all. Oh, that's the tough thing about this, is it's tempting to peg too much of my ego or my progress or whatever on the account balance, but it's really just about getting in here and learning every day and taking the trades that I think are good. And as long as I do that and I learn from them at the end of the day, then that's all that matters. I do wonder on this chart whether there's anything worth taking. So I'm just going to look back at this and see. Maybe this one. Which I was kind of looking at that, I think, earlier in the day. but it sets up pretty well on this here. Maybe this too as a triple test. But of course, whenever I was using the other chart, I didn't see those ones, so it's too bad. The NQ has hit its break and new high. So far so good on this one, as far as everything playing out. ES has not hit its break and new high. Not quite, but it might. I do believe that it probably already did, but maybe it wasn't convincing enough, so prices could be headed up there for a more convincing close outside and new high. Got a little bit over half an hour left. So far today's felt kind of slow, even for all this movement. Just hasn't felt like the day's been going by super quickly. Like, not incredibly slow, like I haven't been like, drifting off for the most part, but I also haven't it hasn't just flown by. I definitely think one of my strengths in trading is just being able to let go. So I know a lot of people revenge trade or feel like they gotta make back whatever they lost or whatever craziness. And I mean, this happened, and yeah, I wish that I would have won the trade, but whatever, you just move on and don't let it affect you. It's easier said than done, but it's definitely how I feel. I think it's one of my strengths, that is something that I'm good at outside of trading as well. It's just moving on and not letting things really affect me, just letting it slide right off my back, You might even be going into some sort of range, like a larger range on the ES. Kind of looks like it. In Q, not so much right now at least, but these lows could come into play. These highs obviously didn't really come into play there. I'm actually just going to remove those. This played out kind of how I thought it was going to, as far as the NQ getting its break and new high, but the ES, since it already had one, now we're just making this lower high on the ES. So that's like, it's kind of perfect on both of these. Even though they're similar charts, each one played out like almost exactly perfectly. And of course we still could continue up, but just as of right now. We could get a setup on the CL. Looks like first entry, could get a second entry, but this uptrend already has a close outside and 2 legs to a new high. So really I want to wait until prices reach the trend line again. You might get a full second leg down though, possibly. The RTY has hit the breaking new high for its uptrend, and the correction trend has also played out too. So so far my read has been correct on there. I'll have to see exactly why the next push didn't start after these 2 legs down. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. You'd think it would, unless it's like this. That would have been tough to tell though. Shoot. Would have been tough to tell whether there was a, like if you did say, okay, maybe it's just this downtrend like this, in which case it gets its break and new low before prices move up. It's just, I don't know. Don't know about that one. Something to study later. Flipping back to the CL, we are getting close to kind of these 2 legs down to the key entry point. Don't think I'd really want to take that without leg down, congestion, breakout, pullback. I wouldn't want to take it without some sort of higher low or something of that sort. Could even be a wider downtrend, to be honest. If you look at it, could be something like this. Want to keep that in mind just in case. Also could just be that though. Looks like this downtrend isn't, or this uptrend isn't holding now. I like how it fits on this chart though, for the most part. So it could just be breaking. Just in case we do end up going into a range, I'll go ahead and draw that. I want to point out a possible failure on the NQ. So uptrend has a break and new high, where the short-term uptrend has a break and new high. It looks like you get a failed second entry. It's not below the EMA though. It's kind of sideways, but it could be a possible trade there. It's a possibility. Really, it's the CL that interests me the most right now. Downtrend break, looking for a new low of this downtrend, and then maybe some sort of entry to go long. Looks like this failure that I pointed out on the NQ is not worthwhile. Man, sucks for all this movement. So few trades. I mean, I really just don't see anything. Nothing on the NQ. I mean, the best thing I see on this is this higher low so far. Don't want to take that. Maybe that higher low. That's a very similar setup to this one. 2 legs back, and a higher low kind of just right up into the EMA. It's kind of a repeat pattern, to be honest. That's all I see. CL, you know, these trades weren't here whenever I was here, but I kind of like that one. I like this one more than this one. This one's really congestive, but it is a triple test off the trend line, so maybe it's something to consider. RTY, you know, I lost right here. And unless you're just taking good signal bars off this trend line, I don't really see anything there. You didn't get a failure here, unfortunately. It would have been nice to see a failed second entry setting up like right above the EMA there. That's really it. CL is still probably the closest to a setup for me right now. Looking for this downtrend to have a break and a new low. Oops. Downtrend, break, okay, new low. So could see some sort of setup to the high side now. Looks like we gapped, kind of gapped over that support area. See that? Interesting. Might get a higher low or failed second entry here on CL. Could be a good one. Overall, the bias is up. The correction trend is played out. Getting a strong move up. I was hoping maybe you'd get a higher low far from the EMA. That would be really nice, but it's not what you got, unfortunately. probably moved too far for a higher low now, but I'd still consider a second entry long or a failed second entry. See if we can get either one of those here before we reach the highs, which is, I believe, where prices are headed now. It's a pretty strong up move right there. And this will probably be the last setup that I look for today. Only got about 13 more minutes, or 12 really. So, you know, hopefully, I think the failure is out of the question for the CL right now, but we could definitely get a two-legged pullback to create a second entry long. Of course, prices are just kind of taking off here, so the chances are probably unlikely, unfortunately. It could be a midline down through there. Instead of the trend that I had drawn, it could just be, maybe not. I was gonna say it could be a midline, but I like the way that I had it drawn. I like the way that fits the best. It just fits really well down through there. Still could get this second entry long here. We haven't quite hit these highs. But the ES and the NQ, RTY are all kind of just moving sideways in what looks like it could become this range here. For the most part, I'm not really interested in anything on any of those. It's just the CL, really. Getting close to the end of the day. Looks like this short-term uptrend is moving to the break a new high already, so probably no chance to take that second entry long that I was hoping we might get. I was hoping there'd be like a 1, 2 legs down to go higher, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's probably it. That's probably it for the day. Uptrend, break a new high, spike and channel down, break new low. Kind of get just like a 1 leg up here, and then another attempt down for more convincing, well, that's pretty convincing break a new low, but a more convincing break, I guess, because this isn't the most convincing break. Then you create that double bottom, 2 legs up, congest the very 1 leg down, and you create this larger trend working up. You have to close outside and basically move to a new high. On a broad, just a broad picture there. This one just looks like an uptrend, close outside new high. Now you move into like a range type of action, basically. NQ, uptrend, close outside new high, range action, pretty similar. RTY, spike in channel, break a new high, 2 legs back to this trend line, breaks, gets a new high, just barely gets a new high. Now we're just moving sideways. Yeah, well, that's it. I think I'm gonna call it there. Got about 5 minutes left, but it'll give me some time to post my charts. Yaroslav says, "God bless you." I take it you probably said that whenever I sneezed earlier. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be on every day but Friday this week, and then I won't be trading at all next week. So, anyways, see you then.